Hello, my name is Ghifari Nurwafi Yoga, and I will now be acting as the first speaker for the opposition team on the motion that is this House opposes awards and recognitions in the artistic and or creative fields. Now, but before we get into the whole debate, let's talk about what actually is an award show or an award ceremony. An award ceremony is a formal to semi-formal event honoring achievements in a particular field such as medicine, finance, or the fine arts. They can be standalone events or part of a conference or summit and are often compared to gala events. Now, first off, I agree that Grammys and Oscars are now mainly white dominated, meaning the shows are mostly run and or watched by white people, especially the executives. They can be racist and or biased to what they see. And because their position in those shows are the highest, they can basically choose whoever they want because, as stated by the proposition team, the people nominated can also sometimes be chosen by them, which are the executives. But while I do agree with those statements, the motion at hand is still this House oppose awards and recognitions in artistic and or creative fields, not this House opposes Grammys and Oscars. So the motion basically states that this House opposes all form of awards and creative and artistic fields, not just Grammys and Oscars. Now, I am aware that Grammys and Oscars have lost their glory days due to the biased people, especially the executives, and the increase of racism. But as they say, a few bad apples is no reason to not visit the orchid. It means that you shouldn't judge a group of something, in this case, awards and recognitions, by the actions of a few. There are still some other award-giving organizations such as MTV, Billboard Music Awards, BBC Music Awards, and etc. that have featured a lot of songs with different languages and from artists with different skin colors. And that's just in America. Other places also have their own music awards, such as Anugerah Music Indonesia in Asia, Akil Kochi Prize in Europe, and Hedis in Africa. I believe that having awards and recognitions are still important to people because it can boost their morals and help them be more motivated and confident in what they do. Because in this time, in today's day-to-day life, a lot of people will judge your work. So we need to have a lot of confidence in ourselves, in our work, and in what we do. It can also be a way to show appreciation and awareness for what they do and encourage some friendly competitions between each artist. Nicholas Sherman from Genetic Moo works with digital and interactive art, which is still an unconventional media nowadays. She says that it is very important to get awards because we want people to know about us. It is important to let people know what you are doing, how it works, and the value it has for the whole community. Certainly, people have become more aware of us. From that interview, or should I say, we now know that by having awards shows, people can get to know more about unconventional pieces of arts that this world has to offer, be it from a singer or songwriter, painter, writer, or an actor's perspective. There are a lot of benefits from having awards and recognitions, but even so, art is still a really subjective subject to talk about. You cannot compare one piece of music to another just because they're still music. Music has genres from pop, country, EDM, rock, and etc. And this goes for films and paintings too. There are different types of way you can draw, from cubism, realism, and etc. And for films, there are horror, action, romance, and such. Now, for example, you have two students in a class. One student always gets 100 in English, while the other always gets 100 in math. You cannot tell who is smarter than the other because they're smart in their own subjects, in their own parts of school. One is smart in English and one is smart in math. You cannot just group them into one argument and say student A is smarter or student B is stronger. You can't, because they are different. And this should go for music too, or for arts in general too. For example, there is a Classical Rock and Roll of Honor Awards, which is an annual award program bestowed by Classical Rock. Now, this is only for rock music. It is already specified. You shouldn't put other musics into it because it is only special for rock music. And then there is also Winter Music Conference, which is an electronic dance music award show, which is only, as you guessed, for electronic music. So you technically cannot judge or compare art to one another, because it will always be different from its genre, the meaning behind the art, and the process it takes to actually make the art. It will always be different. So we should all just appreciate arts. One of the ways is to, as you guessed it, make an award ceremony or recognition about these arts, because the main point of award shows is not to say which is the best, which art, which form of music or film or painting is the best. Is to show the diversity of musics or arts that we have in this world. Thank you. That's all from me.